What is the environment of your workplace? Is it comfortable, inclusive, and ethical, or is it toxic?
In Workplace Lessons, Nancy Watson looks at how we can avoid toxic workplaces and what to do if we find ourselves in one.
The latest research is showing that a toxic work environment really has a huge impact on our health and wellness. I'm joined now by Lindsay Watson, career coach, and you're also co-founder of FIA NYC Employment Services. Thanks for joining us again, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, let's start out with what is a toxic work environment? How do we define that?
You know, it can be difficult to define just one big definition. So I thought about, what does a toxic environment make us feel, right? So if we're in a place that has a heavy workload and there may be stress for a certain amount of time, that's not necessarily toxic. That's maybe a project that just requires a lot of time and attention. But working in a toxic environment can create continuous stress. It can make you feel small or belittled, or it can give you the sense of, I'm never going to be able to grow. And that could be either the work environment itself or one particular leader. Hopefully not us, but sometimes we can have a little bit of toxicity as well that we introduce. So one of the things that we do always encourage our career coaching clients to think about is, where are you? Is there a consistency in how you feel? And if it's toxic, let's talk about a strategic plan that can help you get out of that.
Well, that was going to be my next question. So if we look around and we find we're in this toxic work environment that we've defined, what steps can we sort of take to try to get ourselves out of it?
So going back to the power of three, you have three options. You can either stay and try to implement change, maybe partner with your HR team to see if anything can change within the department. You can move departments, not necessarily moving, out of the company, but you can move departments if it's a department-related toxicity, or you can leave. What we always encourage everyone to kind of assess is how urgent, does the decision need to be made? Are things extremely toxic where you can't function or you're acting out of yourself? Or do you have some time to strategically plan your exit? Talking with HR, looking at other divisions, or starting to apply for new roles. So there's always a way out. It's just a matter of what level of urgency you're at and, what your options may be to get out of that environment.
Well, and how do we avoid getting into a toxic environment in the first place?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in, and my business partner, he's great with this as well, having a good team of people who can give you advice and counsel. So whether it's inside the work of employment or whether it's outside. So if you have a coach, if you have a mentor, once you start to see what we call red flags, talk to somebody about it and say, hey, this could be a red flag, or this is definitely a red flag. What do you think I should do? And if you can get strategic from the beginning and really say, okay, at this point, I'm going to make a decision to move or leave, or you know what, this is okay, but I'll speak to someone else to see if maybe we can adjust this environment. It would help versus, having 10,000 red flags and all of a sudden it's a lot bigger than maybe it needed to be. So
one other thing I'm thinking is we could be responsible for creating a toxic environment, couldn't we? So I think some of this is sort of self-evaluation as well.
Absolutely. I know I have been. Absolutely. Yeah. And it really comes down to being able to pause, sometimes getting quiet, right? Yeah. Maybe talking to one person saying, hey, you know what? I introduced this, didn't make everyone feel good. I want to change it. How? Right? So I never want anyone to feel bad if they've necessarily been responsible for creating a toxic environment. I've been there myself, but it's really being intentional with saying, okay, how can I change what I'm introducing, what I'm putting out? And, a lot of times once that change happens, you'll be able to see it with your coworkers, with your peers, and then as a team, you can move forward.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Excellent tips as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to make any sort of a complaint, experts say you should document everything that you'll need. I'm Nancy Watson.